Jessica Taylor, and I'm here to welcome you back to the So OffScript podcast. I am so excited to be doing this, and I cannot believe that we are already in week 7, going into week 8 of the hit reality TV show Ready to Love Dallas that I just so happen to be a cast member of. However, this is still August, so therefore it is still Black Business Month. And so I am so excited to be able to bring in one of my favorite businesses that also happens to be Black owned and woman owned, Glitz Optical, and their founder, Amber Jackson. And we're going to get into all things today, Ready to Love. This episode was unique because we were meeting the exes and getting to hear the true tea as to why some of these guys were single and why their relationships didn't necessarily work out. And there's no other person I wanted to do this with me, and especially during this time, than my good girl, Amber Jackson. So if you guys can welcome Amber to the stage.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Jessica, for having me.
Of course, girl. I was like, it's Black Miss Mo. Who would I want to hire? Who would I want to highlight? Who do I want to bring into this space? Who has an amazing business that's doing not just great work, but great work within the community too? And I was like, that's an easy no-brainer. It's going to be Amber.
I am so grateful to be here, Jessica. Like you said, we go way back. We're good friends. And congratulations and shout out to you for this amazing platform of So OffScript and what you're doing with it, taking the time to highlight others, and then just kind of showing us a little bit more about your personal life. So I appreciate the space as well.
Girl, you are more than welcome. You know, listen, I was like, okay, so if I have this platform and people going to be watching and talking about me every week,
might as well.
Why not bring my good people along the ride too? You know, like why not bring these other people in this space, or we can highlight and talk about their business and bring some visibility to the amazing work that they're doing. And so for you guys who are just joining, I'm Jessica Taylor. I'm here with my good friend, Amber Jackson, who is the CEO, founder of Glitz Optical. She's going to tell us a little bit about it, but it's more importantly, it's an eyeglass company. And if you are watching us live, you will see that these amazing frames that I have on are for their upcoming fall collection. So make sure that you check that. Don't get these though, because I don't want y'all to look like me as twins, but get these. And so Amber and I met back, which is really funny. Now I'm thinking about this. You and I met in the Chase program with Digital Undivided. And so that was a cohort program for Black female founders in Dallas who were looking to upskill their business with mentorships. And then most importantly, the thing that they did offer us was a nice little check.
Yes.
That came along with it. And in that program is where I actually met you and Janelle.
Yeah. The program was amazing. Being around other like-minded women who wanted to see themselves more and wanted to see more for their business, and just understanding that there are other women that are striving to be in these spaces, and this is the circle that I need to be around. And you were so instrumental in part of the exercises that we had to do so that I could achieve and get that nice little check.
Right.
So I appreciate you, Jessica. You've always shown yourself to be friendly, presentable, and reachable. And the fact that you're so busy and you take time to say, you know what, I'm going to answer this phone for her at 5 a.m. And because that's the type of person that she is, you guys. You know, if she knows that you're trying to get something done, regardless of whatever she's got going on, she answered that phone for me at 5 a.m. And so I really appreciate it. I'll never forget what you did for me.
Girl, no worries. Just listen, what is it? You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I want to answer the phone because when I call you at 5, I want you to answer the phone when I call.
Yes.
Well, what's crazy is I probably still hadn't been to sleep yet. So I was probably just getting ready to finally lay my burdens down, child. But it was interesting. But before we get too deep, I want you to tell them, what is Glitz Optical? And because I think it's super dope, but I want you to tell people what is Glitz Optical and how you came about founding it.
Yeah, so Glitz Optical is a luxury mobile optical concept. And what that means is we bring the eyewear business shop to you instead of you having to break away your day and coming to us. By us doing this, we're able to give a more catered experience without the extreme overhead that you would get at a traditional optical, but taking away that non-personalization when buying online, right? Because this is something that is on your face. You want to be able to try it on. You want to be able to talk to a person in real time and say, okay, well, this is what my actual prescription is, versus, you know, you're just plugging something in online. And then when you get the product, it's not what you expected it to be.
Ooh,
so
so we want to take the blend of how do we
give an exceptional service at the convenience of busy professionals like yourselves without the shocking sticker costs that are normally associated with typical eyeglass shops. And so how I got started is I used to work for an optical many, many years ago, and I realized that this is something that I want to do full time for people that look like me. Because when I would go to design rooms in LA, and I would try to tell them, listen, everybody's nose bridge is different, or think about different cheekbones.
I hate when I get glasses and they're always sliding.
Exactly.
So the fact that you thought about that. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. So because of that, and they weren't not too receptive to what I had to say. However, Black Americans are the number one consumers in keeping this economy going. So you should listen to what we have to say if we're going to spend the money. And I decided to just go ahead and start my own concept where we feature Black owned brands or people that think about everybody's facial features when designing their products. So it's not just the convenience, but it's also convenience and something was tailored or you were thought of in the design process when you put it on your face. And so it fits more comfortable and natural.
So cool thing. So Glitz Optical, I have custom frames that are customized to fit my nose bridge, what kind of style I like, and most importantly, not only are luxury, they're affordable. So I think that is something that's super dope that you're doing too. But you know what, Amber, you're so modest, but there's another component of your business that I think is very important too, that is not just for the consumer, but also business owners and how they can be plugged into the work that you're doing in terms of glasses. So talk about that, how they can help their employees.
Yeah. So when I would go to small chambers of business chambers of commerce, and I would talk to the different business owners there, I would realize either they're in the stage of they're starting their business or they're not in a position that they can offer full benefits to their employees. And we all know that it's so hard to keep good quality people to help us be successful around. So we wanted to make sure that we are offering something to these business owners that they can now use to try to retain people, employees, and be able to say, you know what, we do have a vision plan, benefit, discount plan that we can offer you. So our goal is to help small businesses offer some type of vision benefits, because we believe that everybody should be able to look their best and be able to see in quality eyewear. It determines how they perform at their job.
Yeah.
It determines how well customers see them. So if you have a receptionist or if you've got somebody working at the first point line of contact, it's important how they're perceived. And so eyewear is one of those things that introduce us to our people. And we want to make sure that your company and your brand is represented right, and that your employees have something that they didn't have to pay to receive. So what makes us different with our discount plan is there's no cost to the employer or the employee to sign up. So anyone in their household can use this benefit. And we just saw a really big need for that in our community. People have been super receptive to it, and they're like, absolutely sign my business up so that we can have something to offer.
And it's so important because as a small business owner, and I hate that they say that all the time, but I mean, that just lets us know we got more space, more territory to take up, right? But that is the one thing that, we don't provide benefits at all. And so this is something, and when people look and they're like, oh, we want to come do some things with Ezra, I'm like, I want you to too, child, but we still sowing good seeds and waiting until our harvest reaps. So the fact that you're creating an opportunity where people can still have the access to get glasses through their employer as a small business.
Yes.
Girl, you are onto something. You're seriously onto something.
Thank you. I was a little nervous rolling it out. And as I go every day and I just walk into businesses, I haven't had one person that says, no, I don't want to sign my business up for that. So it's just giving me a little bit more confidence that this is something that is needed in the community and it's appreciated. So I'm happy to be a woman of color taking up that space of offering something to business owners that they can now give to their employees, and not just their employees, anyone in their employees' household could take advantage of it as well.
And something's crazy. So when I was filming this show, my glasses are like my blanket. Okay. So I have 3 things in my personal wardrobe, things that are like my Linus blanket. So my blazer, and they were like, okay, we done seen you in 3 blazers. No more blazers. I'm like, oh my God. And then they were like, no, you got to take your glasses off. I was like, okay, now y'all pushing it too far. They are like, so you're right. There is a confidence that I have when I have my glasses on. I just feel, I feel happier. I feel, I just have a different energy about myself when I have my glasses on, right? Mm-hmm. Versus when I don't have my glasses on, which is quite funny what I'm about to say. When I have my glasses on, I'm more jovial. right? I'm more of
Yeah.
When I don't have my glasses
You feel
on,
naked.
it's typically when I'm more serious, right?
Yeah.
So this whole show I have on what? No glasses. And therefore I'm what? More
More
serious.
serious.
But, and it's really, and I don't even know where that came out. I'm really thinking about that when I'm talking to you, but it is really true. They can really shape how you feel, how your day is going, because it's literally a part of your overall makeup, right?
Yeah. It's on
So-
your face. It's the first thing that people see, and it determines how well you see the world.
And they're great conversation starters. Too.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I like your glasses. Like, where you get your glasses from? So I definitely think that's something that's dope as well, too. So we are going to start talking about this show.
Okay, I'm
and
excited.
Then relationships. So before we get there, there's something that we talked about before, and I call them the 3 O's.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was an optometrist, an ophthalmologist, and then an optician.
Yes.
And so you see, I got that down.
You got it down packed. I'm impressed.
And so I wanted you to talk a little bit about the difference between the three, because growing up, I'm from Atlanta. And so when you were talking about people of color in the space, my eye doctor was my classmate's dad, right? And it made me click. I never not had a black doctor.
Wow. That's
know.
amazing to say. That's impressive.
It was, so when I went to other cities, like I lived in Ohio, Indiana, and everything, and they were like, oh, I've never seen, I'm just kind of like, they were like the first black this or first. I'm like, what is going on? And so it made me think, because my mom would not let us go to school in the state of Georgia or to HBCU. She was like, listen, you've been in Atlanta your whole life. You don't need no more HBCU experience than this. It don't get no blacker than this. It don't get no blacker than Atlanta. So she was like, she said, I want you to go and see. And that's when I finally start seeing, whoa, in other places, it does not look like this. So
Yes.
when you were talking about that, I said, start looking to see how many black optometrists and ophthalmologists do we have? And the numbers were very disheartening.
They
Very
are.
disheartening.
They are.
So I want you to tell me what the difference between the 3 O's are.
Yeah. So the top is an ophthalmologist. An ophthalmologist is the person who's going to do your eye surgeries. So people who have cataracts, people who have glaucoma, people who have retina detachment. Those are the people that are going to do your surgeries.
Okay.
And then you have your optometrist. They can prescribe medications such as, like, if you've got conjunctivitis in your eyes, or you have dry eyes, or you need a prescription change. That's going to be that type of level. Those are the ones that goes, which one's better, 1 or 2?
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
then
I know that one.
yes, and then I'm an optician, so that we are like the pharmacy to the optometrist.
Gotcha.
Is what I try to classify us. So we're the ones that are going to take the prescription, see what the doctor is telling us to do, and then we're going to have a conversation to see what your lifestyle requires. A good optician will, and then our goal is to blend the two together. Let me do what medically necessary you need, but also let me cater to the lifestyle that you are living on a day-to-day basis to create this great product for you.
I love it. And I think it's important. Now, what is the schooling like for those different levels? So how long do you have to go for optician, optometrist, and ophthalmologist?
So an ophthalmologist, obviously that's going to be about 12 or 13 years.
Okay.
The great thing about an optometrist, though they are a doctor, they're not an MD, so they don't have to go to school that long. Theirs is only 8 years. So like literally you take your 4 years of preliminary and then just another 4 years and you've got your OD license and you can go and start your own private practice. To be an optician, that kind of depends on the state.
Ooh,
So
okay.
some states require that you have certain licensing. Some states require that you have certain internships for a certain amount of years. In the state of Texas, you do not have to have those. And then I think because of how eyeglasses are being sold online so freely, I think they've kind of just pushed back on those rules a little bit more. But in most states like California or in New York, you do have to have an opticianary license to practice. But in the state of Texas, you do not.
In the state of Texas, they also have cottage laws for us.
Yeah.
So with Ezra, I'm able to prepare things in my home and still sell them. Which I did not know, because in a lot of other states, you can't do that. So Texas does have, I noticed, a lot of laws that makes it very easy
Yes.
for people to run businesses and sustain them as well, too. So I definitely like that you brought that up, because I don't think a lot of people always know that. So we have our 3 O's.
Yes.
We know the time that it takes to go to school. So, one thing for me, I was growing up, outside of just getting your yearly eye exams for like back to school and stuff like that, then there was a wave of the contacts.
Yeah.
And then there came the wave of the color contacts, right? And I remember, I never forget, they used to sell them at the farmer's market, at the flea market. And I was like, y'all just really buying stuff, to sticking it in your eyes for that. Right. And so that's when I started thinking about like the importance of eye health, right? Like I never could get into them. I thought they were cute, but I was like, it's not something I'm going to do. Because for me, the only thing otherwise that was negative eye health that you heard about was somebody having what? Glaucoma. Like that was the only thing that you ever heard about. And so I always wanted to make sure, my mom will say, take care of the stuff you don't get twos of. And I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah, she's like, you don't get a second set of eyes and you don't get a second set of feet. So don't be walking around here in cheap shoes, and make sure you take care of your eyes. And I was like, you are so right. Because, you can replace, in this era of the build body, people are getting everything, right?
Yes.
And so it was very interesting. And even in that space, with the transplant space, they're doing cornea transplants, but there's still a lot of other things from the eye space that, people are in need of. So I want you to talk to me a little bit about the importance of eye health and maybe some early detection that people can be mindful of.
Yeah, so it's so important to get an eye exam, not just for visual acuity purposes, but also you can detect early signs of diabetes, high blood pressure, and other things that are maybe going on through the body through the nerves and the muscles in the eyes. And so we tell people, even if you feel like you've got perfect vision, go and see an optometrist at least once a year, because it can very well help you prevent going down a road of being on medication now for the rest of your life. Since your eyes are early detection points. And so maybe you can have a conversation with your doctor, and maybe it's just something about changing your diet before it gets to that point. So we want to stress to people, it is so important, not just for the purposes of getting glasses, but just for the overall health of your body, to go and get an eye exam every year.
Yes. And not only that, just to be able to be aware of what's going on and how to think about it, even within the cornea transplant. And so the only reason I bring this up is I'm familiar. I think y'all may have told you this, like super deep into the transplant space, because my sister, my mom's best friend. So she was raised with us. She's my god sister, what we call my sister, right? She had 3 heart transplants. And so her birthday was the 10th, the earliest week. So, but she had her heart, 3 heart transplants. And then with my mom, before she passed, what we were looking for her, she was in need of a heart lung transplant, right? And so it wasn't until there that I started looking, when we were getting her prepped to try to go on the list and the foundation, everything like that, that cornea transplants were something that people were doing. And they were talking about how new it was, right?
Yeah.
But even then, the amount of Black people that were listed as donors, as opportunities for us to get, was so small. So my god sister got her first heart transplant at 4, 10, and then her third one at 13. Right.
Wow.
So she said, like blessed and blessed again. Yeah. So she was going through that. And so when you see that process of what it takes to get a transplant, I'm thankful that cornea is now on there, but still knowing that there are going to be so many more people who are waiting for this opportunity to get, just simply for a lot of times is, I had poor eye health. I didn't do that yearly exam. I didn't focus on having good health growing up. I didn't make sure that my blood pressure was in a space to where it didn't affect my vision. Because I don't even think people understand that stress, all of those things can affect your vision.
Yeah. And if you've got children playing sports where they are being tackled, that is not just, a soft hit.
Yeah.
That is actually putting strain on the muscles on the back of the eye. So we see a lot of people in their late 20s and 30s, they're coming up with possible retina detachments because of old scarring from playing football in high school. Mm-hmm. So there's so many different things that come with that. So I definitely recommend that everybody go and get an eye exam. And then even if you don't need glasses, you need protective sunwear. So we also offer, prescription sunglasses or non-prescription. We offer polarized lenses. People are getting cataracts at an earlier age because they think sunglasses are a luxury, or they think it's just for a fashion statement. And so they go buy $20 to $30 sunglasses, not really knowing how bad that is for your eyes. And so I'm happy to be in this space where I have an opportunity to sit down with people and not just sell them glasses, but educate them so that they know why I am suggesting what I'm suggesting.
It's so rare. And I tell you all the time, like, girl, you are doing God's work. Like you were doing God's work. So for you guys who are just tuning in, I am Jessica Taylor. I'm the host of the So OffScript podcast, where we go behind the scenes of some reality TV shows. Most particularly right now is Ready to Love Dallas. But more importantly, we also use this platform to elevate and highlight amazing individuals and businesses. So with that, I have Amber Jackson here from Glitz Optical telling us everything about the importance of healthy eyes, and then more importantly, she has some amazing eyewear, including these amazing frames that I have on from their fall 2023 collection. So we're going to take a quick break, a commercial break, and hear some words from our sponsors. All right, so we are back with the So OffScript podcast. I am your host, Jessica Taylor, and I'm joined here with my really good girlfriend and optician, Amber Jackson of Glitz Optical. And we're about to start digging into all things Ready to Love and really dissect some of these episodes and see, are you saying what I'm saying and what you think about that?
Okay, girl, I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Thank you for having us.
Can we add a little Jack Daniels or something?
No, you don't need a Jack Daniels. Don't be under pressure.
So we dated for what, about 2 years or so?
Yes.
What was the hardest thing about dating Maria?
It was probably the age for me.
Oh, there's an age difference.
Yes.
I'm 41. Okay, 40.
41
crew. Okay. So that at the time when we were dating, I had never been with a younger man. So that was an issue for me. I eventually got over that.
Okay.
I stepped in and, changed that world.
Oh,
What can I say? It's God's doing.
oh Lord. Okay, it is. What would you say in terms of his new partner? What would you like for this person to have qualities that would be able to support him?
I would start with a sexual appetite.
Okay.
Just being able to keep up. Are you a sexual person? Y'all ain't feeling these questions. I mean, hey, these are concerns.
Yeah, I'm concerned about things as well. To be honest, though, I just don't feel like that's a conversation or a topic. I know that I don't want to walk down that particular line.
That is perfectly fine.
I'm not interested in sharing this information with her because it's none of your business. I just don't feel like this is an appropriate conversation.
Okay. Well,
Girl, okay. You've done different. You've been married before. You've been divorced. Like you've done the gambit. So I'm gonna let you kick this off because maybe I need, some discernment from someone who has a different perspective.
I was caught off guard. I was really interested in what she had to say, from the standpoint of what is it about this person, about their personal traits, maybe their characters that I need to kind of look out for or to see if we align with. I was not expecting it to go so deep into me possibly talking to my future man with his ex about my sex drive. And that's the thing. Like, so this whole meeting the ex piece of the show, like, it's cool. Like, what does she expect you to say? Oh, girl, my sex drive high. I got it.
It open on Tuesdays. Like, what?
What's she expecting?
So I liked her. Her name is Jessica too, and I thought she was super cute, and I loved her patch of braids. I kept telling her, I said, "Girl, you got to give me the link for who did these braids." Right? I loved her. And so prior to this, we're watching this when you guys are. So I'm literally just walking to the scene and sit down. But what I noticed was from when they did the whole playback, he asked her to ask us about that.
Oh, okay.
Prior to. But I didn't know that. So I'm just looking at this girl like, why is you asking me about what I want to do? Like, I'm asking, like, how can I support him emotionally? Like, he's a dreamer, but he needs somebody to get behind him and push it to the completion line. Like, those are the things that I was looking for. And so I'm already, like, not going to ever talk about those kind of things anymore. I told him in my interview, I said, listen, I'm not kissing nobody's child on national TV. So go ahead and get that out your mind. Maybe I'm not the girl for you. I mean, y'all still COVID testing. Like, why am I swapping spit with people? That's weird. And then I'm just never going. I mean, my dad is a pastor. I'm not going to be up here.
Good for you for having your boundaries.
Yeah, I'm not going to be up here talking about these things. Like, that's just not me. Y'all got 10 other people on the show. Y'all get it from them. You don't need that from me. So it was nice, but I'm just like, and then you got to think you're on TV. So I'm also trying to think of like, is my face looking crazy? Is my eyes rolling? Like,
you was definitely batting your eyes. I could see.
I bat them to keep from rolling.
I could see it coming up on you. Like, let me process this information as quick as possible with these cameras on me.
Yes, I'm like, what is going on? But once we started talking, I was just, and the thing she kept asking me, and I literally told her, they didn't play this. I said, listen, I don't care how many different ways you ask me this question. The answer is still no. Like, we're not.
And they just edited that part on.
They edited that, which is fine. I don't care, But my only thing is, like, we had so many other great things in that conversation. I wish I saw more. But I do think that sometimes, I think sex is too soon. And I think, this whole conversation about women and their personal things, like, it should just be open, fair game. I don't really subscribe to that.
No, I don't either. I think certain things should be exclusive between you and your partner.
Yeah.
If my partner came to me and said, hey, Amber, what is your sex drive, or whatever the case may be, that's a different conversation. But me talking to my partner's ex about my sex drive is extremely weird.
It's weird. Okay, so we're about to get into our next clip, which this one is also going to be equally, I'm going to let you watch this.
Okay.
And see what you think about it.
Well, I'm tuned in.
Hi, people. I'm here. Did you miss me?
Good.
How are you?
So Jessica's out. Immediately when Jessica enters the room, it was a huge energy shift.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm a hugger. You want a handshake? Come on, keep it all in.
She has a strong vocal cords on her, so she came in pretty loud. And immediately, I kind of noticed Val's demeanor changed a little bit.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Just living a dream, child. I don't know whose it is, but it's somebody's. So I want to know from your perspective, what would you say the reason was why the relationship ended?
Well, I didn't want to be a forever girlfriend, first of all.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like he was going to move the relationship forward.
I think it was very selfish of me at the time, and I do apologize for that. I know we talked about it a couple times, but that's where I was in that space.
The moment that Chris apologized, that was powerful to me. I really appreciated seeing a man take accountability. It was sexy, honestly. For me, one of the big things that I'm looking for is a leader. You just exude that to me, so.
It makes me feel good.
Now.
You deserve it.
That's interesting.
How can you be of service to a man like him, a power player in everything that he does? He needs a woman that's a good support system. Sometimes your day is going to look like just supporting him. How do you feel about that?
So is your support being an active listener? Is your support taking things off their plate? Is your support showing up to different events for them? Is your support just really covering them?
So support for him, everything you just listed?
Do you feel like you received support from him as well?
No.
No.
No, he couldn't. He didn't have the capacity. He didn't have the time. I was there in servitude, for real.
When Valerie shared that she was in complete servitude, I was completely blown. That is not going to be something that I can be a part of or be able or willing to do.
You're honest with yourself, Jessica.
Very much so.
And that is like 90% of the battle when dating.
Yeah. My mama told me a long time ago, she said, you got to start out how you plan to hold out. So if you start out accepting something, you have to plan to continue doing that the entire time. If you start out one way, you have to, because you can't get, the people going to fall in love with what you show them, what you bring them to the beginning. And I can't start one way and then midway switch up. And
just because I'm trying to keep you around.
You can't. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be okay with saying, you know what, this ain't going to work for me. Even though you're single and you're wanting to date, and you're wanting to find your, IBM, your ideal black man, you have to be open and saying, you know what, I love me enough, I trust God enough that I'm going to step away from this because I know that he has something else for me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes there are people who you can be all the things paper-wise, and it just doesn't connect. We even talked about that in this date. And I asked, because she asked, I asked him, I said, well, how do you see me showing up in your life? Because the other young lady asked the same question. And it was you can come to my corporate events and you'll do good with my clients and things like that. And I was like, This is very Christmas card energy. You know, the ones where you see the couples, they're together on a Christmas card. They look well together. They went to the good schools. They were both Jack and Jill, both Greek, whatever. But behind the scenes, he doing his thing. She got her own thing going on, and the kids can't stand their parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never want to be a situation. So I feel like it's important for me to be very honest with who I am and whose I am and what I can and cannot bend on. I know everything's not going to be 100%, right? But the things that I'm going to give energy to, what can they be? And I just know that me, girls, I serve one person, and that's the Father.
Yeah, and you save yourself so much time, energy, and a headache from trying to blend with someone who you're not anointed to walk with, you know?
Not that part.
So
that's what they don't want to talk about. And the thing is too is I think people get lost in submission and serving in this whole relationship conversation, and they read the part of the text of submission that they like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where the woman submits to the man, but the man also submits to the Father. Right.
Yes.
And I have to see the clarity that you have an understanding of the calling that is on your life. So when it's time for me to submit and serve and follow, I can have an understanding. I can trust that you know what you're doing. I can trust that you know where you're going. And I can trust that you know who you are. And we're getting there together. But I think a lot of times people just want to focus on you submit, and then I can continue to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or if you submit enough, they're always moving that little target, always dangling that carrot. If you submit enough, then I will come in and try to meet your needs. But it's about serving me and my purpose and what I need from you. And you're a female. A lot of men sometimes think like that, like best serve me, help me to get to where I'm going. And then based on how well you serve me, then I'll choose you.
And I think that's what we just saw, right? Because I asked her, I said, how long were y'all together? And she said 5 years.
Yeah.
Of serving. And I said, well, did you get this in return? No. And I'm like,
and then you're left with an apology.
What am I gonna do with that? You know, like you've literally taken 5 years, 60 months, however you want to say it, off of my life, and I have nothing but what you just said, right? And so I think a lot of times too, when you're dating and you're looking at things, you have to be very clear with your timelines. Like,
and you have to hold yourself accountable, because a man can't do to you what you don't allow. So, you know, maybe she's just left with just that apology, but it's also taking time to say, how did I contribute to this space? What signs did I see that I didn't leave, that I just kept going?
And see, the thing is, I've been there before. So I dated a guy before, back when I was in Cincinnati, and we were in this long back and forth on and off for years, right? And I was like, oh, I ain't doing this again. And I would be very clear with that. And I can't be mad because I was a willing participant in this craziness, like just what you said. But I know going forward, I was like, I would never do that. Like, if I don't like something in the beginning, I'm cutting it off at the knees.
I think all women have had that experience, including myself, where it's like, I can do more, I can show up more, I can do this and this and that. And once you come out of that cycle, you're never willing to sacrifice that much of who you are, because literally when you separate from a long relationship, whether it be 3, 5, 7, 8 years, there is a layer of you that was neglected all that time.
Yeah.
That now you have to take a step back and try to rediscover who you are and trust God to build you in a place where you took a lot of that time to follow your own agenda and not seek God for his agenda for your life.
And I think too, some of it even hardens you, right? Because you look at that relationship like there is a grief process. There's a death. That relationship died. And it's the same things as when you're grieving anything else, when you lose anything else, it kind of hardens you in those spaces to where you think you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
But you're really just making it harder for other people to get in, because I want to make sure that you're not going to waste my time. I want to make sure you're not going to hurt me. You want to do those things. And so I think that I gathered so much more in that clip, in that section of just listening to her. It was a much longer date than what they played, to where I knew, I was like, this is not for me. And I know people are like, oh, it's cultural. I'm like, my uncle's Nigerian. My auntie has a PhD. Like, come on, all of this is not cultural. Some of this is just who you are, you know, and that's fine.
And that's okay. That just doesn't serve me.
It's fine. But that's the important thing of knowing things, right? Some things just don't work. And that's fine to say, this ain't gonna work, you know? And so she said I was in complete servitude. And I was like, what kind of slave language is this?
Now, Jessica, do you believe that people can change? Do you believe that maybe he was that person 5-6 years ago, but moving forward and with him taking accountability and saying, I'm sorry, we talked about that privately. Do you feel like a person can change and go into another relationship and say, I'm not going to come with the mindset of she needs to serve me? Or is that embedded in them?
I do think that that's a great point. I do think that they can, right? And I think that some people do, but I think in this situation, that's not the case, because in everything it started out with, you need to talk softer to me. You need to do this for me. I need you to show up better for me. You know, it's still very much that
what I need you to do.
What I need you to do. There was never a time when they asked, how can I do this or how can I do that? Or, you know, it was always what you need to do, what you need to do. And I think people feel sometimes like, oh, that means that they can't take feedback, they can't receive it. And I'm like, I have no problem, because even in the scene from the episode before, he's like, I need to do this. I was like, that's fine. I don't have a problem doing those things, right?
Yeah.
However, when I ask for something, I need you to meet me with the same energy.
With the same energy.
With the same energy. And so I think
reciprocation is key.
Reciprocation is key. And so in that last, which was so funny in that clip, the last episode, I don't know if you saw it, we went on this date. So he asked us, and one scene before this, we were supposed to do our doubts. And so I really don't care for that. So I use moments of pause. I'm very particular about the verbiage that we use around people of color, and people, period, right? You know, I used to be a teacher. And so I said, well, I don't have any real moments of pause with you, but you can be more consistent. And after I said that, they go, well, you can be more, I could say the same thing about you. And I said, well, whoa. I didn't bring this up for a tit for tat.
Yeah, everything is lost in translation now.
Really brought up to share what my concerns were. Now, when they edited it the opposite way. So it's almost like he's saying this and I'm saying that. I'm like, that's not happening. But, you know, it's TV. You sign up for them to, you know, do whatever. And I was like, it is what it is. Long story short, if you need something, I needed to go back way. So when I asked her, did you get this? And she said no. And I was like, wow. So I don't know. I think it's
disheartening.
Well, the thing is too,
you can see it on her face as well as when she was explaining.
Yeah, and it's like you can never fall in love with the potential of a person, because if they never reach the level of potential that you have set out for them in your mind, you are always going to be upset.
Yeah,
you have to fall in love with a person where they are in the space that they're in, and anything else that they do is extra.
Yes.
Anything else that they accomplish is amazing, because the potential that I have in my mind for you may not be the potential that you have in your mind for yourself.
Yeah.
And so I have you I'm holding you to an unrealistic standard that you don't even know about. And so you're like, dang, why she got attitude? Well, I thought you was going to do this and take your business to the next level. And you still, he was like, well, I just wanted to fix cars. I didn't say I wanted to. And so I think that's sometimes where people get lost, is because it's like, I see you and I'm going to try to make you to this next level. I'm going to try to push you to this space. And that may not be what I wanted for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. What else you get off of that one? I kind of lean to you because I feel like you've been through this. You know this space. You're dating again. And I just find you to be so very wise.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. Well, you know, looking at this clip, I see a woman that has gone through a lot of trauma. And like how I guess Chris said, their energies kind of shifted when you walked into the room. And it's maybe sometimes when you just have gone through so much, and now you see somebody else walking into a space and they're able to receive a person in a different light than what you experienced them in. You know, sometimes that can be a little disheartening, that it's like, man, I put all that energy, here they are, they've accomplished this, and now they're ready to move on with another person. So, you know, I'm curious to know, how is she doing mentally, emotionally? Because I don't think we talk about the trauma of giving ourselves to an individual for that long. And now what does it look like moving into your own space and then being genuinely happy for that individual as they move on into different endeavors? Life is so funny. And it's something that you've got to really be rooted within yourself, so that you can understand the world and the world around you and how you're relating to it. I love the fact that you showed up as yourself. I love the fact that you took a moment of pause when I could see it in your face, like, girl, that's you. That ain't my testimony.
It was a long date, girl. It was a long date, and it was a lot of stuff flying. And I was like, oh, okay, let it go. Yeah, I said, she better than me. Because if my ex, who I was with on off for all them years, had asked me to do that, I couldn't have done it. Like, I couldn't have done it because and it wouldn't have been nothing towards the other person.
Right,
like,
right.
I got smoke with you. You know?
Yeah, it's literally, I'm trying to prep somebody to get a better version of you that you couldn't show up for me for.
Yeah, I said, she better than me because I would have been hot as fish grease. Do you hear me?
5 years is a long time.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break and get back to this next episode. Again, Jessica Taylor here from the So OffScript podcast with my amazing good girlfriend, Amber Jackson from Glitz Optical. This is Black Business Month, so make sure that you are shopping Glitz Optical for all of your amazing eyewear needs. These ones I have on are from their fall 2023 collection. So make sure that you check them out. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Okay, we are back with the So OffScript podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Taylor, and we are recapping week 7's episode of Ready to Love Dallas, where we are meeting the exes. So we have one more clip that we want to bring up, and this one, girl, mixes religion,
Okay.
spirituality, and relationship. We got to figure out if some people are evenly yoked.
Okay, let me make sure my glasses are on good so I can see.
Yes, tilt the glasses.
Things that me and Morier connected on is spirituality. So I'm in this metaphysical world and it's my thing. So tarot cards, metaphysical, is that a deal breaker for you?
I was totally and completely blindsided.
Look at Janelle's face.
I read tarot cards, so if y'all would allow me to pull a card or two for you guys.
You
Yes.
won't be able to pull a card for me,
Okay.
but you can pull a card for them.
Okay.
What are you doing? Why are you doing it? When are you gonna stop?
I pulled the amethyst stone for you, so your intuition is gonna play a big part in your future.
I am blindsided with craziness because I talk to Marie all the time, and this man never mentioned anything about burning incense, tarot cards, crystals, energy reading. Seriously, like, what's really going on?
Well, I wouldn't want to date anyone who likes to dibble and dabble in the occult.
I got you.
I need someone who is firmly rooted in the infallible word of God.
Okay.
I'm very non-negotiable about having pagan things in my space.
Understand.
It got bad when the tarot card came out. It was just like, yeah, none of this is going the way that I planned it at all.
I just want to make sure that, I am aware of who you serve
Yeah.
and who sent you.
Got you.
For me in this house, we will serve the Lord, so that's just kind of how we operate within my life.
Right.
Do you have any other questions? You didn't get to really ask her a lot of.
No, I think I got it.
You do? Okay.
I have a lot of damage control, a lot of cleanup to do, but I am happy that this conversation has now started. I'm a very spiritual person, but if a person's like, no, I'm completely, not going for it, that can be concerning.
So that's what they mean when they say spiritual? Okay, I need to be a little bit more careful. When people tell me they are spiritual,
Listen,
I need to ask more questions.
Me too. Now, I didn't ask enough because I'm like, oh, spiritual. When I hear that a lot of times, I'm thinking they done had a bad incident at church. They
That's
didn't
what
have
I'm
a good
thinking.
experience.
They got their own little relationship with God. You know what I'm
They
saying?
still pray to the Father. They still do their offering and tithe. They just don't they just don't subscribe to the general notion of first, second, third, fourth, fifth Sundays. Like, that's kind of how I looked at it. And so that's what he normally would say is that, I'm spiritual or, I believe in God and this and the third. So I'm like, oh, okay. And so, when I got there, I was walking up and and then they show you like nails face. I was like, where are we going? Like, what is this? And so I went in, we get in and I see like incense and frankincense and myrrh and all this other stuff in there. And so I was like, let me be a little open because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And the tea was banging. Okay. The girl shop is in Arlington. That tea was on 10. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that. And so we start talking. I was like, okay, now I don't mind, some people do like the daily horoscopes. I don't mind that. I'm a Taurus. People are like, oh, that's a Taurus trait. I'm okay with that level. Right. But the dolls with the pins and the locks of hair and the cards and this crystal stuff, I don't know enough about that. And being raised in Black church, I was always taught that was something, I hate to say devil work, but it was very much not of the Christian faith. So I've always stayed away from those things, right? And my thing in this is, don't you ever have me somewhere with my pants down, as the old folks say.
Yeah.
Don't you ever have me come into a situation I'm finding out some craziness that you didn't prep me on, because now I don't even know how to respond. I'm just sitting here like, you want to do what?
Yeah. Janelle was like, well, let me tell you something right now. I don't care who watching, who's seeing what's going on. You ain't gonna do nothing for me. You can handle that over there. She wouldn't even been able to get the first card laid out. It would have been a Uno draw 4. It's over. As I seen her shuffling, cause you ain't speaking nothing. You ain't conjuring nothing. You ain't new.
Listen, I'm one of them kind of people who re-bless my food, because I don't know if the Lord did with you like you think he do.
Yeah.
So some folks, I'm gonna bless this food. Okay, you go right ahead, because I'm gonna come right behind you and bless it again, because I don't know if he did with you like that for real.
But what I understood and I took away the most from this is know what people's definition of spiritual is. Definitions matter.
My God. Yes.
Don't assume context.
It's so important, because too, and then I'm also like, she's like metaphysical. I was like, who over there? Like, what the heck? What is who are these people? And the thing is, I felt bad because she's just doing what she, this is her thing. So I'm like, I'm just looking like, what is going on? And like I said, I just can't, I feel like what energies you put out, what things you welcome to your space, who you let read over you, I'm careful who I let pray over me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am very, particular about the old. I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll take it to my board of directors and we'll all lay this on the altar, but I don't necessarily know if I need you doing that just yet, So that part of the day was interesting. But I think the most important thing you said is the context of understanding what is the importance and what is your definition of spirituality.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you, could you date someone who did not believe in the infallible word?
Absolutely not. I have trouble with Negroes who do. So I don't even have space. I don't even have the capacity to take on. I'm still trying to master people who do believe. I don't have the capacity for that. That's somebody that's way more mature and way more wiser than I am.
Oh my God. Listen, so true story. I dated a Rastafarian for like a hot 3 days.
It's a long 72 hours.
The longest of my life. And I'm glad we did it the way we went out to eat. And I was ordering my food and he cuts me off and starts picking things. And I'm like, oh, honey, I'm not eating that. He's like, this is what you should eat because this is from the earth and whatever. And I'm like,
now, see, I would have liked that.
No, you finna get up out of here. Because what you're not going to do, if this is year 3 of our dating and you're not day 2, picking my food.
Was he picking it like, hey, I'm suggesting this and here's why? Or like, you're not going to be able to order what you want. You have to get this.
I want this. I'm just picking random things like a 4-ounce filet. And he'll say, actually, no, what she'll have is the salmon and the vegetables.
No.
You should eat that because it's better for you, giving that.
As he's placing the order for you and telling someone not to listen to you.
So quick. I told her, I said, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. and so, which is crazy because in this process, and I talked about this a lot in my confessionals that they have not aired, I cut things off so fast. So in this process, I was like, Jessica, which is why I wanted to do it. You can't just cut things off when it doesn't show you what you want it to see.
Yeah.
You have maybe try a little more. And so this process, you are forced to keep going. Try one more time. Try one more time. Well, did you really see it like that? Or you just irritated? Stuff like that. And so I'm constantly, and I'm like, this is not, it's not working, right? Because even if it works this date, 2 dates from now it's gonna be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I was trying to do, but I was just like, certain things I just cut it off at the knees. Like I don't give it no time to grow. I don't nurture it, nothing. And so the faith thing I learned then and now too is like we got to be talking to the same person. Like
absolutely, that's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, because another thing is like I'm very big on having someone that is able to pray for you when you are unable to pray for yourself.
Yes.
And so I say that because, like when my mom was really sick the last time, she was actually in a coma. She'd been in a coma for a couple of weeks, and the doctors were like, you might as well call the family in. Like, you need to call them in. This is not going the way we think, whatever. And my daddy told that man, he said, I'm gonna call some folk, all right. And he called all them good mothers, and he called, my mom's personal group of friends, and he said, we're gonna pray up in here because we're gonna go down before him on his behalf because we need a mighty move of God in this space. You see what I'm saying? Now, mind you, my mother is on every machine possible. And just in context, she is on fentanyl and propofol on a cocktail drip.
My goodness.
Okay? Because they need her to stay down here, but then be able to level her here. So that just lets you know the severity of where we are right now, right? She's fully intubated, completely unconscious and ever. So she is fully trusting and depending on this man that she took these vows with to carry and cover her in her absence.
And I don't need you pulling out no tarot cards to determine my faith in this situation.
Girl, called them ladies in, called the ushers in. And my mom's doctor, now we didn't know this, but he was Jewish, right? So when the ladies in the church brought the little prayer blanket, they laid it across her feet. And it was a Hebrew one, okay? So she had her AKA prayer cloth because the Soror was brought one for her. And then she had this one. And so when her doctor was on his rounds before he went home, he said, I'm going to come back. We was like, do you need anything? Is everything okay? He was like, yeah, I'm going to come back. Girl, he came back and joined in prayer with us.
Wow.
He said, I can't say this there. He said, but I'm going to join and stand with the family. He said, he's Jewish. He said, I saw the Torah and I'm staying with you guys too. But my point is, when I saw him go down before the Father, wailing, pleading, crying, Lord, I need you to do something, show up in this space, bless my wife, restore her health, restore her to what you want her to be. Even if it's not how she left, even if she may not be at 100% of where she was before, bring her back to me in the manner you see fit, right? That is a different type of covering. And you need to know that the person that you are connected and aligned to can cover you in such a manner in your absence. And so that's for me, I was just like, seeing my parents go through that, seeing that, and listen, thankfully, on that 14th day of that process, she woke up, clear in mind, knew everything. And then she said, oh, there was one time, she said, I felt like I heard some murmuring. Now, you in a whole coma, but she still could feel the presence and hear things that were going on in her space. And so I feel like when you're looking for a partner, you're looking for someone, just like Michelle did with Barack. When he was out of town and she went and spoke on his behalf, you need something who can represent you in your absence. And I think right now in this space of relationships, we're so focused on plate fixing, 50-50, who gonna pay my bills, I ain't paying no bills, that we get so lost in the importance of making sure that you have someone that can cover you.
Yes.
In every phase.
Yes.
Not just financial. What you got other than money? Because I always ask people on these dates, I ask myself, who are you without your stuff?
Yes, that's good, Jessica.
And many people can't answer that, and I got that my first thing. So, that's kind of where I was with it. And I was just like, I don't know, while I'm in this journey of trying to find love, am I ready to love journey? That was right. You're right. I needed to, and I did not do that ahead of time. So you're right, Amber. I needed to really understand, what does spirituality mean to you? And is this something that's going to be able to work for me?
Yeah. And I'm going to word it. I'm adding that sentence to my list of things of asking people now when I go out with them.
Girl,
what does spirituality mean to you?
So that's another thing too, is understand that, I had an ex and, he was a Christian, he was Baptist, all things. But girl, he did not believe in tithing, at all. And so it was always an argument when we got
now,
to
would
service.
that be a deal breaker for you? If he never came into the knowing of tithing or never believed in it and everything else was perfect, would that have worked for you?
I don't know. I'm saying yes and no. And let me tell you why, because if you weren't taught that is a hard thing to grasp later in life. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Not because especially if you're tithing correctly, a full 10%, not offering, I give a little here, I give a little bit here, but completely tithing. And not only people understand that, tithing on your gross, truth, that's something that you have to I feel like you just don't wake up and that's a part of your new thing.
So
right?
is that a deal breaker for you?
As I said, I don't know. I would not say no. I'm not going to say it's a deal breaker for me. I think it's something that we will probably need to work through and have my thing would be your level of openness and understanding. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm tired as much and as often as I should. Because I mean, sometimes it ain't there, and I don't need the stress of wondering, whatever. I need to be able to do this. So I would say it's not a deal breaker, but I do want to know your level of openness about it.
That's good. Great conversation.
So that would be what I would want to know within that space. Okay, so one thing we did not talk about is your business, which I absolutely just truly love. It's something that we definitely do with Ezra. I'm sipping on my coffee today, and I see you got you some too. But one thing is we are both very rooted in the community. So with Ezra, we provide academic scholarships to students attending four-year universities who are in their sophomore, junior, and senior year. We give these what I call them gap grants to cover different things that they may need to help them as they're on their collegiate journey, things that you don't see scholarships for, right? So we provide those. And so this last year we did students at Howard University, Southern University, and Alabama State University based off
Congratulations.
Of proceeds. Yeah, girl, I'm so excited based off the proceeds of our sales. So it was truly a blessing for me for us to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. But Glitz Optical does something very community focused as well too. And so I wanted you to tell people a little bit about what you guys are doing within the community.
Yeah, so we tell people don't shop with people just because they're Black. Shop with them because they want to give back. So you know what? If your business is good enough to take my money, now what is your money doing for people who look like me as well? Uh-huh. And so with Glitz Optical, we take part of our proceeds and we put glasses on kids for free every year. A little bit about my story. I grew up in public housing. I grew up on government assistance, and the programs that they have in place, though I'm thankful for them, you don't get to choose the most stylish glasses. And so when people are not confident, especially young kids who are in school, they're not confident in their appearance. Sometimes they may claim that they lost their glasses, that they broke them. And, it's just so much easier for them to revert to maybe being distracted in the classroom because they cannot see. And so we want to make sure that kids, regardless of what their parents' economic status is, that they're able to feel just as confident as some of my clients that are paying me X amount of dollars. So every year we do an annual giveaway where we give away 100 pair of glasses for free. And then this year we are also partnering with you, where we're going to be gifting 50 pairs of glasses for free to anyone who shows up with their prescription. So when people shop with us, not only are they getting a dynamic product from a Black optician, eyewear that is thought about with them, they are also helping the community by aiding us in taking part of the proceeds and helping children find glasses that look amazing on them. And so we want them to feel great about themselves.
Girl, I just love it because listen, you see I keep over here touching my little
they're real cute.
But listen, so this month, August 31st, we are hosting the first Ready to Love Community Day here in Dallas, in South Dallas, particularly in the Queen City neighborhood. And with this event, we have some amazing people that will be joining us. One, Amber Jackson and Glitz Optical will be providing free eyeglasses to students who are over the age of 9 who come with their own prescription. Bring your prescription. We are fitting you with glasses. So the first 50 kids that come down there as well. We also have free sports physicals. We have free blood pressure screenings, free EKG screenings as well. We have over 900 pounds of healthy, fresh fruit, vegetables, and food that we're providing free book bags with supplies inside of those as well. We're also providing free haircuts. It's the second week of school and we know the little boys want to be touched up, so we're doing free haircuts. We have Cowboys Fit coming out as well, and they will be showing us different meditation practices and classes. We also have Moving with Art that's going to be flying in from Atlanta to lead all of our yoga sessions. So if you follow them, you know how big they are within the yoga community. They'll be here too. You guys, we have so many amazing things. Seeds to STEM is going to be coming out as well, doing some engineering and STEM exercises, teaching the kids how to make some of their own soap, as well as HAK Electronics. I am so excited about this event. I'm so excited that you are partnering with us on this as well. DCH is sponsoring some things for us too. But more importantly, we're able to bring this to this particular community because it is one of the most underserved communities within South Dallas. So I'm so thankful that they're letting us do this. So again, it's going to be August 31st from 4 to 7 at the X-Line Community Center in Queen City. And my good girlfriend, an amazing person. So we'll be there August 31st from 4 to 7 p.m. at the X-Line Community Center in South Dallas, really outside, providing all of the things. Look for the trucks, look for the balloons and the banners. And most importantly, if you need glasses, your child or someone in your classroom needs a new pair of glasses, make sure that you check us out because Amber, our Black optician, will be there on site fitting students 9 and up with new glasses so they can start the new year off right. And girl, I'm so thankful that you are coming and deciding to do this with us.
Yeah, thank you for allowing us another opportunity to show up for people.
Girl, anytime. Listen, people know this because I used to throw my Sophisticated Ratchet parties back in the day on MLK Day. Anytime there's an opportunity where I can uplift and showcase some other amazing, beautiful Black people who are doing some amazing things and businesses as well, I'm going to do that. Like, I know how expensive it is for marketing. I didn't know how expensive it was until I got into it. Now I'm here. I'm like, oh my God, this is high. So I'm always wanting to make sure that we provide that space too. So with that being said, girl, we coming to the close of the show.
Okay.
But I have a lightning round. So I'm going to shout out a few things and you have to respond to me with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, girl.
I don't care how open it is. It just has to be like the first thing that comes to your mind.
First thing. Let's go.
First thing that comes to your mind when you hear Ready to Love.
Dating.
Talking or texting.
FaceTime.
I like that too. Celebrity crush.
I'm going to say Usher.
Girl, I want to see him.
Me too. He got all my coins.
Listen.
I was in the pit.
Oh, no, you.
Yeah, I needed the dancer's sweat to fall on me.
Girl, listen, I bought my ticket the day of. I went all the way to Vegas with no ticket. Like, I
bought my ticket the day before. So I
was like.
I had no plans. I put it on Facebook. I was like, yo, I really want to go see Usher. And they're like, you should go. 3 hours later, I had booked my trip and everything, and it was my first solo trip, and it was amazing.
Girl, it was, listen, and I'm from Atlanta, so when he had the stripper segment.
Oh, yeah.
What is? So, yeah, that was just, okay. Deal breakers, top 3.
Lying for no reason. The second one would be not having compassion for others, empathy. The third one would be lying for no reason.
Relationship turn-ons.
Someone who inquires about how I'm doing or feeling.
I like that. And your favorite movie?
Imitation of Life.
Really?
Yes.
I like. Okay. Mine is Joanna Man. People really don't believe that, but I can quote it like front, back, and sideways.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. If I want to be serious, I'll say Bone Collector, but I love me some doggone Joanna Man. If there is one thing that helps you optimize and take your business to the next level, what would it be and why?
Empowering people who are really well at things to do their job and not feeling like I have to do everything.
Yes, that is definitely key. Anything else you want to share with our guests before you head out? Oh, most importantly, tell them where they can find you.
Yes, so you can find us at glitzopticalonline.com. If you are a small business owner and you're like, how do I sign my business up? You can contact me at 214-494-1974, or you can go to our website, glitzopticalonline.com. And at the very top, you're going to see a link that says the Flex Plan. You can sign up there, and I'm happy to come and showcase to your employees and talk about the benefits. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Glitz Optical, and we hope to see you at the community event on August 31st.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the So OffScript podcast. This episode was brought to you than none other than who? Girl, Ezra Coffee, because it is in the cups.
Yes.
And today we are sipping the 64th in Tulsa medium dark roast with some little caramel syrup. So this is one that I am enjoying. It's one of my favorite blends, the Ethiopian and Sumatran mix that highlights the civil rights act of 1964 and also allows us to reflect on what Tulsa Black Wall Street. So when we think about that and this bag being green, we think about the generational wealth that they took from our communities. However, we are pouring it right back in every set of cups and every set of eyeglasses at a time. So thank you guys so much for joining So OffScript Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, and post as much as you can. We really appreciate you. Until next week.
Drink up.
Hey, I like, aren't you cute? Come on, marketing, get up.